Hello friends, in last video I spoken about DTAA in USA and India. This video I will talk about DTAA in India and UAE. So if you are a resident or on a visa on UAE and you are an Indian citizen and you're planning to sell a property or other incomes, so I will talk about other income also, like you are earning some income in India and then you are earning some income in UAE also. What will be the tax rate and how the DTA is going to impact? Now, before you ask me, sir, there is no taxes on UAE. So let me tell you, there are taxes. One tax is called VAT, another taxes they have recently introduced, which is called a corporate tax. But so far, if I say there is no taxes on individual, but soon it will going to come because there is something going on which is called OECD. Now, I will not tell you what is OECD or why this is implemented, but in short term, if you understand, this is an international agreement between the countries where all countries are saying that there should be some standard way of taxing. So it should not happen that some country become a tax haven and other countries suffer due to that. So basically in OECD, they are talking about that every country should charge at least 15% tax, minimum 15% tax, so that there should be a level playing field, and it shouldn't happen that the people from high tax area take their all assets to low tax area, and then black money and then greedy shopping and all these things happens. So this is what OECD is planning to do, and it is almost, if I will not say it's in final phase, but it is progressing. So as and when the OECD will be implemented, UAE also have to implement at least 15% tax on the income, on I mean the all the income which a resident, tax resident in UAE have to pay if they are selling any asset outside UAE. So in that case, if you're a like NRI, you're planning to sell property, so maybe you can plan it early, because once it is implemented, then definitely you have to pay some taxes there also. But so far, in this video, I just want to explain that there is still a DTAA agreement between India and UAE, and there is a provision of charging taxes. That's a different case that taxes are not currently levied. So I will talk about taxes on different income. If you are a tax resident of UAE, but you are earning money in India, either by selling property, selling stocks, dividend, interest, anything, any source of income, how taxes may be charged in future, or at least now you should understand there is a provision, so it may come. Now, so first thing first, most of people who are working in UAE, either in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or other Emirates, they have generally invested heavily, if I say, in real estate of the India. Now, so first thing first, I will talk about what is the taxation will be there in DTA in case of UAE tax resident selling property in India. Now, another important part here, most of people living in UAE, especially the Indian living in UAE, I think there is still not a concept of granting citizenship. In most of cases, it's a long-term visa. You can call it golden visa or other visa. So still they are tax resident but not citizens. So that is also somewhat different from most of other countries, because when the DTA is getting entered in other countries, some cases what happen, Indians go there and they permanently become a citizen of that country, which most of the cases will not be case in UAE. So if suppose you are a tax resident of UAE and you're selling property in India, so as per DTA, basically the state where your property is located has a right to charge tax on that. That is India. Okay, but in future when the 15% will get implemented, then this tax rate will be split. As I spoken in case of USA, they will be like, suppose in India you are paying 20% taxes, and there suppose you have to pay 15% taxes. You will not pay any tax in UAE even then, because the taxes rate there is lower than the tax rate in India. So first right of tax is with India because the asset is located in India. So when you're going to sell this asset, there will be tax in UAE, but because the tax rate there is already low, you will not end up paying any taxes, right? Similar things is going to happen with the other taxes. For example, if you are making interest income or dividend income, all these income are taxed in India as per slab rate. So suppose your income is below a certain limit, say for example 10 lakh, so the tax rate, average tax rate will be less than, I think, 7-8% or 9%, and suppose the tax rate there is 15%, you will not end up paying any taxes in UAE. But some cases, suppose the taxes are say 10%, for example, in India, then in that case you will end up paying 10% taxes here and 5% taxes there when the tax rate will be implemented. So the only point I want to point out, lots of people have this, like, if I want to sell a property and I want to take money abroad, do I need to pay double taxes? as per the TDS rates. So understand that 20% is an advanced tax. This is not a tax over and above. So if you're paying advanced tax, you can adjust that when you're filing your income tax return in India. Suppose there is no income in India and still you're paying 20% TDS, then you can claim a refund. So in nutshell, I don't have to talk a lot of things on DTA in UAE and India. I made this video because lots of time I get this question that okay fine, I don't have any taxes as a salary which I'm earning abroad in UAE, but what suppose I'm making other income, for example rent or dividend or interest, or I'm selling a property, do they charge tax in UAE as well? So if I tell you there is provision for charge taxes as per the agreement between UAE and India, but as on today it is not implemented because individually they are still not charging taxes. But as and when OECD will implement it and individual taxes will come into picture, I think that time this DTA things will also automatically trigger, and then you have to pay taxes minimum of 15%, which cannot be reduced less than 15%, but can be increased more than 15% in the future. So again, if you have, I'm not saying when the OECD will be implemented finally, because there are lots of countries and the discussion is going on, everybody want to bargain a best deal for them. So that I'm not aware. The only thing I'm saying, as on today, you don't have to bother, you don't ask question about, sir, what will be taxes if I'm selling property in India, do I have to pay taxes in UAE? Because as on that date, that is not activated. But as soon as the OECD will come into picture, that will be getting activated, and that time I think these things become relevant. So if you're planning in near future, I think it's better idea to start thinking about it rather than waiting. So that's all in this video, friends. If you have any other tax related queries, especially if you're staying in UAE, either Dubai or Abu Dhabi or other Emirates, you can ask me and in the comment section, and definitely I will reply about that. Either it's maybe selling a property or some other issues. Definitely me or my team will come back and reply on that. So in this video, that's all. I just made a video to clarify some questions and it might be clear to you, and that's not the purpose. Thank you. Have a nice day.